All right, let's go. Welcome up. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a great Friday out there. Let's go. How are you guys doing today? Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Pretty fun morning so far. I'd say the SPY is running up to test some pretty big resistances from pre-market. We can see it double topped right around this zone. See if it ends up breaking through or not. I've actually been leaning more towards it's going to hit resistance and start to dip back down here. I'm a bit worried around 672 to 672.50. Of course, we can see over here on the left side of the screen multiple times where the SPY has been peaking out recently before dipping back down. This is obviously a pretty critical range that the SPY is coming up to. Watch for a possible hold here. Even 673. I mean, pretty good resistance overhead, too. This entire range just has a lot of resistance, a lot of touches the past few days. The SPY has been stuck here. It's been choppy. I'm going to zoom out just so you guys can, like, really see the overall zone here, because it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. I'm just going to clone this bottom one and throw it up here at the top end of the zone. Boom. That's kind of our zones here. We got our two supports and our big overhead resistance. You can see, though, just how flat the SPY has been here in this range. Just be careful going long. I would look at individual stocks, honestly, if you were looking for long plays, but maybe SPY will stay resilient on us. You never know. SPY has been very resilient this year and just continues to make new highs. If you're just now joining up this morning, or if you just haven't done so yet, destroy the like button. Let's go. Destroy it up. Really helps us out here. Helps YouTube a lot. Intel moving well this morning again. INTC almost up to $40 a share. Go to that daily chart really quickly. Up to new recent highs. I love to see it. Let's go, Intel. Boom. That is an awesome run. Great move again. Intel 4.2%, almost a $40 a share. That is insane considering they were just around $20 a share. You had one covered call on APLD, the rest is running. Let's see APLD. Oh my god, APLD's up 27% again. Applied Digital, holy shit. What was your strike price? Jake said Intel was $20 for what seemed like years. I think it was technically years. Just over a year, I believe. Let's see. Oh, it was right at, yeah, just over a year. That's so funny. I'm gonna look at that lower range on Intel between those two red boxes. It was like literally one whole year. From August/September of 24 all the way till August/September of 25. That's pretty funny. A perfect year of consolidation. APLD, baby. Degenerate Merc said they bought in at 5.37. They love this stock. Hey, I would too if I bought in at 5 and it went up to 37. Hell yeah. 500 shares on APLD. Jake says, I'm happy. There we go. They did the $30 strikes. Not bad. Really. I think it's great. Haha, Mason said, the jokes are coming soon. We'll have to do the Friday funny. What's up, City Junior? It has been a while on the stream, I guess. Well, like a week or two. I haven't seen you in the Discord, though. Oh my gosh, you have the McDonald's Monopoly, man. I've been eating McDonald's non-stop since that came out. Oh, Mason has the Monopoly guy too. I see it. That's funny. I've probably eaten at McDonald's 5 times since that came out. But I'm a McDonald's connoisseur, so. You got 5 pieces already? Man, I'll tell you what's funny. I actually have 5. I've had so many pieces that I already have 5 free food items stacked up in my inventory, waiting. I have a free biscuit sandwich, like a bacon, egg, and cheese. I have a free 6-piece McNugget, a free 4-piece McNugget, and 3 free apple pies. Already, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, wow. I probably should have it checked considering what just happened to my dad, Steve. Yeah, it's pretty neat, Xavier. McDonald's is doing like a Monopoly promotion where you go there and you get these pieces and you upload them to the app and you can get free food or you can collect the pieces, and if you get enough of the same pieces, you can win trips. And it's pretty neat. Like, you can win like a trip to, it says like I don't know, Hawaiian vacation or something, and it'll be worth like 10 grand. Or like, I'm looking at one that'll give me like 20 grand in like flight credits or something. It's wild. But obviously, I think it's hard to win. I mean, obviously. Me and my girlfriend, though, we cheat. We give each other our pieces. You're 1 away from an RV. Mason, post that up in the StockedUp Discord and see if someone will give you one. I've been thinking about posting up on Facebook Marketplace that I'll pay people $100 for a piece. Oh yeah, you gotta love it, Pew Pew. So American. And you can't forget tonight I'm gonna be having a fat, juicy filet, so... Once it get redeemed, it's no good, though. I guess I could ask them if they... Yeah. Yeah, you know, just post it up, and if somebody happens to get the piece, they'll probably pawn it off for 100, you know? If they see the ad and then get it later. QQQ, 0.33%. Doing pretty well today, I gotta say. The NASDAQ's going up to test the all-time high. QQQ might try to break out here. SPY's doing well, too. I guess it's closer to its all-time high than I originally thought. What a move. Past 2 minutes, the thing exploded through resistance. Damn. That was quick. Look at Tessie turning over. 443 pullback to the downside. Looking at the watch list, Rocket Lab is up 7% again. They've been on fire lately. Pony AI, one of my favorites in the short term. 3%. CoreWeave pulling up 5%. Nice move by them. Looking at the daily, yeah, CoreWeave just extended well through that resistance at 144 that it was stuck at. That was a great pop through there. Wow. Good breakout by CoreWeave. That was pretty good. Very solid. Check the hourly. Wow. Yeah, SPY's showing its resiliency again, though. Right back to the upside. I was really thinking that some of these resistances would hold up a lot more before we got to that all-time high. But, yeah, I mean, it essentially just came right up for another test. This area around 673.50 is pretty big for resistance, too. But if it broke all these other levels, I would think that that could break as well today. Some Friday bullishness coming through. Pepsi's up almost 3% today, though they are up 3%. What's going on there? Holy Pepsi. Wow. They had good earnings yesterday, continued again today. Sheesh. I gotta see these Pepsi earnings here. Or these Pepsi... the options chain. Let's see, how much are some of these up? Wow, up almost 1,000%. That's a good continuation by Pepsi. KO doesn't look bad for a possible dip buy here either. KO had recently filled the gap and started trying to bounce a little bit back up. Tom didn't like it, clearly. All right, let's see. Why did the skeleton bring a ladder to the party? Because he heard the drinks were on the house. That's actually a pretty good one. I like that one better than yesterday's, Mason. I like that. That's crazy. City Junior said, thinking if I should buy RCAT. Mason gives out apples. Let's see RCAT here. Thinking if you should buy Red Cat. I actually like Red Cat. I think it's a very interesting stock and an interesting... very interesting sector as well. RCAT. It's a drone company. I would eye them up on the dip as well. I don't necessarily believe, though, that right now is the perfect dip buy opportunity. I think you could wait just a little while longer, but that's all. City Junior likes it for the long term. There we go. Yeah, I feel like in the long term it'll be fine, but for right now it's in that growth phase. And my biggest fear is, like, you know, it could easily keep going in the short term even more. Like, let's say it hits 20, but then it pulls back to, you know, 10 or 12 or whatever, and then starts going again. You know, I feel like it's just a very volatile growth stock, right? Just keep that in mind if you're going to buy it, that's all. Other than that, though, I feel like it's in a good sector. Yeah, WULF. Like to see it moving like yesterday. That was awesome. They were watching 1375 for a break. Unfortunately, it came in after hours, right before we posted the video. But nonetheless, it had great price action again today at open. Yeah, great momentum. Love to see it with Wolf. Pretty solid break of the pre-market high as well, around 15. Went on a pretty good secondary leg there. Let's go see these crypto stocks. How's Bitcoin? Okay. Bitcoin trying to move back here a little bit. Recovering up from yesterday's lows, that's for sure. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to grab a quick drink really fast. Be right back. I'm going to throw up the Mag 7 setup really quickly here. 1 minute. All right, sorry about that. I started dying there for a second. If you're new to the stream, destroy that like button. Let's go. Like it up and also subscribe. I go live every morning at market open, so destroy it up and turn on your alerts. Maybe hit that notification bell icon. Be alerted whenever I go live. Yeah, get on board, Steve. Let's go. It's the cheap Grand Cherokee. Oh. It's still okay. That's actually probably one of the best ones, though. I don't know, maybe. I'm going to tell my fiance to get it for lunch. I'm going to text her and say, go get McDonald's. I have so many of these McDonald's coupons now, I don't even know how I'm going to use them all. They're probably all going to expire. Mason wants the 77-inch Samsung TV. How much does it say that that's worth for? Palantir hitting resistance, 187, really failing to break out today, unfortunately. Really failed the overall move. There's SPY right back down. It straddled the all-time high. Touched it momentarily and said goodbye. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Nebius. NBIS. Doing very well here today. Wow. It's on sale for $22.99. Usually $34.99 on the Samsung website. Wow. I'm gonna guess over $2,000 in real life. All those little giveaway things I've seen have been like 10 grand or higher, so the Samsung TV would make me sad. Drones like RCAT, ONDS eyeing for long-term. ONDS especially when it's almost the end of its no-selling date. Like oh, okay, yeah. 12th is going to be the most crucial date for ONDS. Like the lockout period, right? It's where they essentially keep, they keep insiders from selling shares for a certain amount of time. And they put it on sale to antagonize him. Is the big money still on ERAU? ERAS? I'm assuming they meant ERAS. Mason said they're still in. There we go. What an interesting setup here. They entered on October 7th this week. Pulled back. It had a great day one. It's just going to be one of those plays that if you're in it, you're going to have to give it time. And it's probably going to fluctuate a little bit between $2 and where it is now before ultimately running. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you're going to play ERAS, it's at resistance, and it might take real bad. Yeah, I can see that. There we go. Sorry for the lag, guys. Cool, we're all good now. Yeah, hopefully it showed me that we're back, so. What's up, Michael? Good morning, good morning. Same to you, Jack. Same to you, same to you. Bank of America, BAC, $48. 49 coming up as well. Pretty big area of support. Go check out Tesla here. Tessie. I like 430 trying to bounce. Up bigly on my RKLB and IREN calls, considering just calling it a week. Maybe you should. It's not bad. I mean, it's pretty early Friday morning, but you know, it's really these stocks are moving in some pretty insane ways. I mean, I don't blame you there. Looks like they're running pretty well. I wonder how high IREN will get today. Possibly $70 a share. It's definitely a pretty big area of resistance up there. Yeah, I think she got in trouble, Jake. She hasn't been able to join us as much lately. I thought about having her call in, but I don't know. I didn't think it would work out well. How dare you, Michael says. Let's look at Rocket Lab again. Wow. Such great action, especially from pre-market to today. I like Bit Digital, 7.34%. Was supposed to be in Missouri today, Tom, for the Mizzou-Alabama game, but plans fell through. Man, you would have been coming right through where I live to go to that, too. Going to Columbia, Missouri. Oh, yeah. You would have been out there in the sticks. It's actually not that bad. I didn't realize Columbia was more north of Jeff City like that, actually. But you wouldn't have actually came through here. I lied. That would have been such a coincidence, yeah. We would have had to play some golf if that was the case. Tessie consolidating like crazy this morning. Not really the best price action, though, after that morning attempt of a rip. SPY touched that all-time high and came back down here. Was gonna be a 5-hour drive. I was just checking that out. Columbia's about an hour from my house, so that's not too bad, really. Oh no, sorry, it's 2 hours from me. Oh damn. Five hours for you, 2 hours for me. Yeah, that's really not that bad. What's up, Tony? We do it remotely. Yeah, it was cold last night, Mason. Man, I was actually trying to get my dad's Mustang out. I was at his shop last night getting it out for a while. It sucked. We spent like 3 hours, 4 hours getting it out, and then we were working on it till like 12:30 last night, trying to get it running, and it wouldn't run. The fuel pump's bad, unfortunately, but we did so much to it, like spark plugs, air filters, fuel filters, other things, and it just, yeah, It's a 1987, Steve. And it's been sitting around forever. Here's what it looks like. I'll show you what it looks like. This is like literally exactly what it looks like to a T. Oh my God. These pictures are always terrible. Here we go. This is exactly what it looks like. Except it doesn't look this good. It looks like it's been beat up. Not that bad, but it just has like, you know, the paint might be chipped in the one spot, and then there might be like a couple dings here or there. For the most part, it's pretty solid though. It's pretty sweet. Hoping to restore it, bring it back to life. Not a convertible, unfortunately. It's a hatchback. I thought it would be pretty neat to have a convertible one, but I like the way it looks. Some people like those styles, some people hate them, but I think it's okay. Monopoly dip buy action here on the daily. McDonald's, they are dipping down quite a bit, and off of these dips, it's provided some good buying opportunities off support. Insert a Florida comment. What? It's got chilly here too. It was down to 79 last night. It was 79 degrees in Florida. Oh my God, it's freezing. Time to break out the hoodies. Jake said the bond market's closed Monday. What will I do? You'll wait till Tuesday. It sounds like. We actually aren't going to... Now, I'm not saying the bond market, but the stock market's not scheduled to close down until Thanksgiving now. We have a big period of no holidays after, I believe after what, Labor Day it is? Yeah, after Labor Day, which was on September 1st, after that, we don't get any more holidays until November 27th. Pretty much 3 months. Fine with me, really. I just was just throwing it out there. Live stream for days. That's actually like one of my favorite games, Chase. That's funny. QQQ pulling back a little bit. Look at 613. Nice resistance there. Pull it back down to 610. Joe Papa said it's 54 degrees here in Ohio. I'm still wearing shorts and short sleeves. I would be too, Joe. But that's just how I am. I wear shorts and short sleeves even if it's like, you know, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, but I'll be honest, one time I did it and I got stranded and I had to walk in the snow and it wasn't fun. I gotta say, I learned my lesson that time. Bit late, Varoom said. Hey, better late than never, right? You're just fashionably late. Nothing stops Oklo, Jake said. Okay, LO. You are correct. Up 10% here. Almost 11% on the day. You are right, though. Nothing is stopping it. Wow. Look at the intraday just action on Oklo. It's been one of the hottest stocks and one of the hottest sectors lately, being a nuclear stock. Varun said, I'd like to be fashionably early. BMNR is on support. BMNR down to 58 or so. Let's see that $1 bounce. Okay. Yvonne said Amazon's falling. Is it a good buying opportunity? AMZN. Look at that 5-minute chart. 228's not bad. 228.20. Yeah, really not too bad here. Good morning, Demure. Welcome, welcome. Yvonne has 100 shares of Amazon at 223. It's a pretty good price, I guess. Definitely more towards the lower end of this zone from recent, so that's good. At least it's not by the current price here. You dug a hole 2 days ago, really? Was it a good one? Did you feel like Shia LaBeouf after you were done? Go check Palantir here. Man, still rejecting down. Now it is starting to come up off the dip just a little bit, which makes me happy. I'm glad to see it coming up just this little bit. It's a good sign. My AMD puts are looking nice. I'm tired, Grandpa, Xavier said. No. Thank God, Demir. Thank God. Choppiness on the Mag 7 has been eating my money. You're getting chopped up. It has been pretty choppy. I gotta say, the only one that's been nice has been NVIDIA, really. I guess. I mean, NVIDIA has been pretty consistent lately. Pretty nice PA up, but other than that, yeah. Should I buy the dip on Sound? S-O-U-N, Soundhound. I don't feel like it's even dipping that much. Let's see the intraday dip, though. Ah, I see. Looks to be following the trend pretty well. I feel like it's not the worst dip buy in the world ever. I like the way it's moving here, Soundhound. I feel like it could be a good buy the dip opportunity as the day progresses. Of course, with any setup heading towards support, you know, there could always be the chance that support does end up breaking down. But overall, I think it's in a great spot here. I think Sound's on the wrong side of the BB. Elevated RSI. But they're saying Bollinger Bands. Elevated RSI. I wouldn't touch it. Elevated RSI. Yeah, I mean, RSI is elevated, probably. I wonder how long it's been elevated on this one. My gosh. I would be pretty worried if the support gave out, that's for sure. I wouldn't hold it very long. I don't blame you for saying that either, Jake. Man, Tesla really did start falling there. Wow, Yvonne. That was a big sell-off down to 434. $433 to $434. Not gonna wait for market makers to take profits. Yeah. Just calling it a week. We're up 800 on the day. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, don't give it back, Michael. I like that mindset, man. Sometimes it just takes a strong-willed person, you know, a very, what would you say? Someone that's like a rock, you know? A very solid-minded individual to walk away like that. So I commend you, Michael. I commend you. That's nice. Yeah, discipline. That's a great word for it, Xavier. Perfect. Yvonne said, I command you too. I am greedy. Palantir, I like that intraday resistance touch at 186.25. Little double top. Now, if Palantir ends up ripping through there, watch it to the upside. I think it could start to go on an upside run if we do see that end up breaking. If we do. It's almost time for Funny Friday. But shoes to fill coming off the skeleton comment. Yeah, I know, right? It's a tough one to beat the skeleton one today. I like that one. I'm going to scroll back and find it. Here we go. Here it is. Why did the skeleton bring a ladder to the party? Because he heard the drinks were on the house. Pretty good one. Pretty good one. Hard to beat. All right, Palantir, you going to turn over on us today? I mean, you double topped pretty well. It seems pretty flat for the most part. SPY just fell through 670, 250 to 673, fell right back through that range. Touched off 672 support. Excuse me, grabbing a quick drink of the water. But yeah, 672 support's pretty large. Did someone say Lucid? LCID at second shift as production ramps up to meet annual target. Lucid actually looks like it's getting some good intraday momentum, guys. Wow. I gotta say, that looks pretty good following that comment. So that was Lucid. I'm going to throw it into my news scanner and see when this news started happening. I'm not seeing it on my scanner, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Let me pull up the Thinkorswim. They're not even reporting it here. Weird. I love the way they're moving, though. You'll drop in discussion? All right, cool. Here it is. From a couple days ago, but still not that crazy. Thought I would have seen some more stuff by that, but yeah. Adding a second production shift. Okay. So it didn't just happen. But I gotta say, Lucid's looking pretty good, though, either way. I like the way they're starting to touch this support. especially around 20. I feel like there could be a good dip buy opportunity here around this range from $20 to $22. Yeah. I think averaging in around here is not a bad way to go. Look at that QQQ number there, 613. Touching resistance. It's been consolidating over the past 30 minutes or so. Now, as the QQQ has been consolidating here, I feel like a lot of people are going to start to try to buy this up out of this range. QQQ's in a pretty solid channel here. Might see a break back up, watching it carefully. Little double top action. Maybe we'll be able to get through there. I'm too greedy. UNH was up 2 days in a row. Didn't take any profits. Now it's gone and I'm in the red with that damn stock. Let's see UNH. Sorry to hear that, though. Oh, wow. What a pullback by UNH. My gosh. I gotta say, I had a lot of people asking me in the chat about this one, too, and I kept saying to take profits. Especially locking in a lot of the gains. Who'd asked me that this morning? And Tasha did. No. It wasn't in Tasha. It was... A lot of good questions this morning. It was Nigel. Nigel is who it was. Sorry, a lot of good questions this morning. I was answering. Yeah, Nigel was asking me about this, and I recommended to take profit because UNH just filled a major gap, and look at how huge this area of resistance is on the UNH chart. I was pretty worried about this holding up and rejecting back down. Let's see if QQQ can get a real rally or run going here on this channel break back up. Sounds good, Demir. I know that's probably not what you want to see, but appreciate you staying cool with us here. No problem. Have a great weekend. Go dig a nice hole. Just kidding. You gonna play that game this weekend, though? That'll be fun. Ron said, cut my losses or average down. Is it stock or is... Oh, yeah, I think you only do shares, right? It seems like you own it way too high, Yvonne. I would cut it personally. I would personally cut it and wait for a better dip buy opportunity. TSLA. I wish Tesla would pull back again. Imagine if they really do a big pullback back to like 360 or something. People will be going nuts for that one again. We gonna get any Optimus robot updates anytime soon? Maybe by the end of the year? I wish. Let me know what stocks you guys are seeing out there. Anything crazy today that you're watching for? I know APLD has been one of the hotter ones, but since open, it hasn't really been that hot. What happened to Beyond Meat? Up 14% today. Wow. Any chance my GME call at 26 will hit by 1017? I'm not too happy with my buy. Your GME call at 26. You only have until next week for that one. You don't necessarily have to have it hit 26, but you have to have it hit or just move in your direction before expiration. Although, in this case, depending how long you've been holding, you might have to actually have it hit 26, maybe even higher, depending on, you know, what's been happening. But nonetheless, this is a pretty crazy setup here with GME. Let me go to the daily. Most of the time, I would say that there's like no shot. But GME is not that far away from 26. If we did see a support bounce and GME tried to bounce up, I feel like 26 is almost exactly where it would get to. It's a pretty big area of resistance around 2580, 2570. So I would watch those two. Chase said, what did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies. That's not Halloween themed, though. Chase, I like the joke, but how dare you?
How dare you?
Greta's coming out of retirement today. Jake says, GME, I'd sell a put at 20. I like that $20 strike. That's really not a bad place to sell a put. considering the support range right around there. Not bad, not bad. Now, I would never sell a put on GameStop because I just don't like it, and I would hope I don't own it. But if you do like it and, you know, you have a good good thoughts about them and, you know, you're good with them and everything, then yeah, go ahead. Run at it. Remember Gamefly? Yeah, Gamefly. I do remember Gamefly. Now, I never got to use Gamefly because I was just a child whenever that was coming out. But I always wanted to try it. That actually would be pretty neat. Or it would have been neat back then. I remember whenever I had my Xbox 360 and it finally came out that you could start downloading games and you didn't have to have the disc anymore. Oh my gosh, guys, I went nuts. I went nuts. I thought that was like something out of this world. Why did the vampire start buying tech stocks? He heard they had great bite. Now that's a pretty fire one. He heard they had great B-Y-T-E bite. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Why don't skeletons like Halloween candy? They don't have the stomach for it. That sounds like one. Chase, didn't you use one last week where you said something about the skeleton didn't have guts? I'm starting to learn that those are too common. The no guts ones. Doritos Crash Course? What? Chase is reusing jokes. Fired. Look at Tessie coming back. It just went really flat intraday. Very flat and choppy. A lot of wicks, a lot of doji candles starting to form here on Tesla, but it just started to end, started to break out a little bit better. Glad to see that. Glad to see it. There's QQQ trying to bounce a little bit around 612, 611.80. Why do you suppose Big Money Trade was long FI? Trend seems consistently negative. Let's see. So if you're looking at FI, given that it's a call debit spread and where they entered, you know, you would think that there could be a possibility that they long this. Now keep in mind that there's a lot of time to this. There's no true certainty that they ended up longing this, okay? It's like that with any big money trade. There's never any true certainty there, Zeb. And with this one being the 160 to 180 zone, the zone is kind of far out. So, you know, you could have the argument there that this one was shorted, or especially that there's a little bit more risk with this one, right? But whenever I zoom out with Pfizer, I feel like that the support range that it's on is so critical. This range of support that it's testing around this 123 to 125 zone is huge. Now, it did technically start to break under there a little bit today, and, you know, there could be a lot of worry that this one does break down. If that's the case, don't feel like that you have to take the trade, you know, if you don't like it. You know, that should be said with any trade, right? You know, again, I feel like that your conviction of it having a downtrend is good, right? It has been downtrending. You're definitely right. I feel like the big money's trying to kind of snipe it off support, and they're doing it in the form of a spread to make it a bit safer. But again, you know, they need a good pop and recovery here. Now, they do have earnings coming up. If they hold through earnings and we start to see it pop back up, that would be the best case scenario here. But either way, I think it's a risky trade. I would probably rate it. I'd probably rate it a 4 out of 10. Maybe even a 3.5 out of 10. Given the 160 to 180 strikes, I would rather it be closer to the money personally. So yeah, that's where I stand there. That's where I stand there. I totally feel where you're coming from, Zeb. It's a realistic observation there. Yep. Whereas yesterday's, well, let me go back here. Yesterday's big money trade, HSBC. You know, now this one is 60 strike puts. Again, pretty far out of the money. It's another one that I wouldn't have too high of convictions on, right? The 60 strike put is all the way down here. I would think that that's a pretty far out strike. That's why we kept saying yesterday, high risk, high reward, right? Let's check out XRT. 84 strike puts. Now, these ones were more of right around the money. It's a put debit spread with the 84 and 77 strike, which, you know, XRT retails. We can see retail starting to turn over a little bit. This one I have a lot more conviction on. It's a lot closer. We're already pretty much at the range. StubHub is another very interesting one. You look at STUB, entered on 10-3. The big money was kind of sniping this one at support, but it was a recent IPO, right? High risk, high reward. It expires very soon, but the thing has been exploding. My word. StubHub. But with it being the 20 and 22.5 strikes, it was fairly far out of the money at the time, but for something this volatile, it's not that insane. XLE 94 strike calls. I will say XLE was a bit weird too. Not the best big money trade ever. I'm just going through a whole lot right now. Goes out to January of next year, so still a little bit of time. 94 strikes shorted the 102. Never really got up into that range, unfortunately. It's not the best that Trump's calling for $2 gasoline now either. Changing things a bit on us. Yeah, there is a possibility, Xavier. There's always the possibility with the big money trades that the opposite could be going on. 100%. And something else with the big money trades is you never truly know, like, where the big money traders are standing at. You know, I mean, they could be somebody that owns millions upon millions upon millions of shares of HSBC, or sorry, millions of dollars of shares, right? And maybe they're looking at these 60 strike puts as just a straight up hedge play. They're like, hey, if HSBC goes up, fine with me. My millions of dollars of shares are going to crush it. But if it does go down, hey, I'll probably lose on those in the short term, but these puts will do well. I mean, you know, that could even be an option. It could be some type of broad strategy drawn up by a strategy team at Stratton Oakmont. I'm kidding, obviously, not Stratton Oakmont, but we'll say JP Morgan or Bank of America or anything, right? Could be some like broad strategy where they don't only look at HSBC. Maybe they're also looking at other parts of British stocks. Maybe it's a British strategy. Who knows? I mean, I'm just throwing out hypotheticals, but it is something to think about. Keep that in the back of your mind when you're analyzing order flow. Intel, how we doing today? Starting to trend back up. It's pointing in the right direction at least now, which is solid. Pointing in the right direction. I like it. I wish I could trade options in Nintendo. You can't. Oh, maybe not options. Yeah. I was going to say we can trade Nintendo stock. It's a weird ticker. Let me pull it up. NTDOY. That's it. Wow, it's been dropping a lot lately. The bearish setup is so good, Xavier said. Man, it has been really turning over here. That is a pretty nice setup in the way it's turned over. I do got to say, though, it's down quite a bit from its high. It's already turned over a lot, but I could see it continuing a bit more. BBAI is rocketing today. Let's see. BBAI, Steve. Love the way it's moving up. 16%. Hell yeah. $8.70. $8.80. Hell yeah. What a resistance. Now, it is right on resistance, Steve, so keep that in mind, but wow. I gotta say, that is quite the move. Looks like it's going to be going for a possible breakout. It already tested this zone once recently. Come on, Big Bear, let's get through this resistance. You're already up 15%. Let's make it work. Is there a book map on Big Bear AI? Yeah, sure. I can pull one up. Got so many book maps open right now. I'm going to close some. Hang on. I had like 20 of these things open. There we go. All right, Big Bear. Here's what you're looking like. 266,000 shares stacked up at $9. Pretty stiff area of resistance right there. 102,000 shares at $8.85. Oh my gosh, Chase.
All right, all right, all right.
Oh my gosh, Chase. I appreciate it, sir. Let's go. He said, let's not forget, Tom does this as a free service to aspiring traders / investors. Show the love. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It's all right if you can't spell today, Chase. Mason messed it up too. That's awesome. Appreciate it though, Chase. Thank you. I'm gonna grab some Monopoly McDonald's now. Starting to get little flies in my house here. What's going on? With it getting cold out, they're all scared now. Gosh, I haven't had them all summer. I've been keeping them away. It must have been because I was in and out all night working on that car yesterday is what it was. Yeah. Donate more money so we can get rid of the flies. No, you'll never get rid of the flies where I live. Not that it's a bad place, it's just you're in the woods, so. Is there a way to spot a big trend before it happens? I mean, Yvonne, there's like some clues and cues sometimes, right? That can help you. But again, it's never going to be so cut and dry that it's like, oh yeah, we found this, boom, it's going to uptrend for sure. You know, if that was the case, it would be too easy. It would be too easy. We would never do anything else. That's all we would do. But there are some clues and cues. You know, whenever you look at stocks, if you're watching something that's dropping, for example, like Intel, right? Like Intel, like let's just say you're watching a stock that's falling. You know, there will be supports that ultimately form. And then you can get an uptrend going off of a support or off of a double bottom, right? Now, Intel's a really good example, so I like to show this one a lot. But if you're eyeing up a support range, like on Intel here at the bottom, $18 to $19, right? You can tell that whenever it gets to $18 or $19, it typically likes to reverse and then start an uptrend. And what you can do is you can use this support range as a good area to snipe it off of. So whenever you see it get into there next time around $19 or $18, you know, you go long on some options. You know, maybe they expire in a few months, right? You're going to need to give yourself some time, at least like 2 months of time, I would say. At least, you know, depending on the stock, right? Depending on the stock, but I would say at least 2 months of time, if not even more in a lot of these cases. You know, sometimes 5 or 6 months is even better to have. You'll still catch the uptrend. It might not be 500%. It might only be 100% instead, but still, it'll be a lot safer on the downside move too, though. Either way, though, you know, you can use these as good buying zones to try to identify another uptrend coming into play. You can do this with a lot of stocks. Another way to do it, to identify an uptrend and continue on the uptrend, is even if you look at something as simple as SPY. You know, like we're watching the SPY, right? it's on an uptrend where there's consistent dips. Whenever you're getting these days of 2 to 3 days worth of dipping, right? That sounds weird to say, right? 2 to 3 days worth of downtrend, maybe 4 days, you know, it provides you that sniping opportunity to snipe it back up. Now there will ultimately be a scenario where you go to buy up the dip and you try to snipe it back up, and then it screws you and it keeps going down. That's gonna happen. You know, it's gonna happen. You got to bake that into your overall numbers and strategy. But that's some stuff that I like to look for. Hopefully that helps you out at least a little bit there. I still got to come back and say thank you, Chase. Let's go. You're a legend today. What are we dipping? Skull? Ew. Only those pouches nowadays. Mason deserves the crown because he won at the jokes. Yeah. Yeah, he does. Good jokes, good jokes. It's too bad that they don't let me choose. When it goes up like NVTS, for example, is it too late to join the rally? Let's see NVTS today. It might not be too late. Yeah, in this case, I would say it's a bit too late. Now, of course, you can always try to join in on the rally. Don't get me wrong, it'll probably continue. You know, it's been continuing well all day. But if you start to see red price action that looks more red than where I'm circling here, you're going to probably need to let it go. And I would say, you know, it's getting to the point of being a little bit too high. Especially approaching $10, I would be a little careful. It's a big psychological resistance there. I do got to say, though, I kind of like the way the SPY's setting up right now. The SPY seems to be setting up in a pretty good way to come up for a 674 test. But alrighty, guys, we're going to go ahead and call the stream there. I appreciate everybody for joining up this week. What a good run out of the SPY. What a nice rip. Good move. 673 resistance coming up there. That's a big area of resistance to keep in mind. Thanks, Tom and Mason. Let's go, Chase. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for being here, of course. It goes for everybody out there. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you all in the Discord today. Join up, ask some questions. I know it's Friday. Yvonne's trading with a baby on their chest. I have so much to learn. My kids are my inspiration. Let's go, Yvonne. Oh my God, guys, what the whoa, 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 whoa. We're not leaving. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Holy shit. Guys, what is going on? Whoa. What just happened? Let's go look at the Mag 7. Holy. The whole market just hit it. All at one time. China's Commerce Ministry. We hope the U.S. is to correct wrong practices. I'm looking for some news here, guys. I am scanning the news like a maniac. Wow, guys, right whenever SPY seemed like it was going to go for that all-time high push. Death candle down. Uh-oh. Ooh. Trump just said China's becoming very hostile. Trump said we'll be forced to financially counter China's move. That is crazy. No reason to meet with President Xi now. Wow. SPY just flushed 673. What a sell-off there, right as we were about to end the stream. Wow, what happened? Well, we know what happened now, but sheesh. UVXY, there we go. UVXY pumping 5.5%. This is wild. Chase goes, Tom, I'm going to need that $10 back. Oh, that was pretty funny, Chase. Oh, that's hilarious. That was actually hilarious. I gotta say, that one destroyed me. Wow. I can't even believe the market just did that. That is an insane drop there. Trump said he's been contacted by other countries who are extremely angry at China's trade hostility, which came out of nowhere. Trump is calculating increased tariffs on Chinese products. Wow. Let's go check Tesla. Yeah, these headlines are just crazy. Trump said China made a sinister move with rare earth controls. Also says Chinese letters were especially inappropriate. Everyone's freaking out. Wow, that was insane. What an end there to the morning. I just can't even believe it, guys. I cannot even believe it. I'm just sitting here scrolling through the news, trying to find more headlines. It's falling because there was a lot of hostility from China towards the U.S., and now Trump is on Truth Social angry at China, saying that a lot of countermeasures are under considerations. He's mad because of rare earth controls, says that they sent letters that were especially inappropriate, and now he's threatening to increase and is threatening massive tariff increases on China. So, wow, that is quite the headlines to have starting to hit there. Let me see if it pulls up on CNBC at all. See if we have a headline for it. No, nothing. Nothing on CNBC, but I'll show you guys. Here's the Stock Labs news. You guys can just see all the headlines for yourself. Here, I'll zoom in. I'll scroll down to where these started to really come into play. Like right here is where they really started. Wow, what a pullback, though. You just got to admire it today. That's why you keep stop losses, right? Wow. Look at what Mason just put in the Discord, guys. I think this is hilarious. China tariffs duct tape. That's pretty funny. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream there. Gotta run. I'll talk to you guys later. This is insane. What's up, Satisfied? Man, I feel like I do. I feel like I remember seeing your name here on the streams. What's your name in Discord? Whoa, Jake went from plus 6K to negative 18K. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. I gotta run, guys. I'll talk to you later. I hope to see you all in the Discord, though. We're seeing some insane price action. Be ready. Hop in the Discord. Have some fun. It's going to be a fun Friday, I have a feeling. Let's go. Talk to you guys later. Sunday night's video. Sunday night's video. Yep. You're right, though. Thanks again, Chase. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.